Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 2 of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. Now, before we get on to week 2, let's have a quick look back at how well we got on in game week 1.
So last week I had 7 points with one perfect result. That was I correctly predicted Liverpool to beat Norwich 4-1 at Anfield.
Yeah, and I had 9 points, Nathan. I correctly predicted 2 perfect results, which was the 3-1 victory for Spurs over Aston Villa, and also correctly predicted the away win for Arsenal where they beat Newcastle 1-0. The viewers for game week 1 was represented by Bravo Plays, and he came away with 6 points. So hopefully the viewers representative this week will get a little bit more than the 6 points from Bravo Plays there. Top scorer of the week though, with a great score of 10 points, was Alfie Hayes. So congratulations, Alfie, on your 10-point haul there. As usual, I'm going to be leaving a template of this week's fixtures in the description. As usual, if you copy and paste them into your comment, then like Alfie Hayes, you could get a shout out in the next video. And also this Friday evening, I'm going to be selecting at random a player yet again this week to represent the viewers. And as I just say, let's hopefully somebody's going to get a higher score rather than Bravo Plays. Before we get into the predictions though, let's have a quick look back at the Fantasy Football League, and here is the top 10. And as you can see, I've actually come out on top. First time probably ever, and it'll probably be the last time. I'll probably get caught at this week. But yeah, I came away with 109 points overall, so I was really happy with that. I did play my triple captain though, and that was Salah, who bagged me quite a few points. I should have gone with Sterling, but yeah, top of the tree. Nathan, you're all the way down in 155th.
That's terrible.
Unfortunately, with just a 41 points.
I had a terrible week.
You've got a little bit of catching up to do there.
Indeed.
So that's enough for the admin for this week. Let's crack on and predict some scores.
Okay, so first up we have the midday fixture between Arsenal and Burnley. Now Arsenal, of course, beating Newcastle away from home, which is good for them because they never usually have good away form. Whereas Burnley, they got a really good win at home at Turf Moor against Southampton. Now Burnley traditionally terrible away, Arsenal traditionally strong at home. So I'm going to say a standard 2-0 Arsenal victory. Aubameyang goals and Lacazette goals, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a Pepe one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for an Arsenal victory as well. Last week, Arsenal going away from home. Okay, sometimes up and down, you know, the form isn't that great away from home, but they did start well, and they actually came away with a clean sheet against the Magpies as well. So I was quite impressed there. Aubameyang scored the only goal, of course. Last season, I think this fixture, Arsenal won both ties 3-1. So on form and everything, I know Arsenal have brought in some new players, of course Burnley have as well, but yeah, I think this is going to be a straightforward victory to Arsenal, and I'm going to go for another clean sheet.
Really, Arsenal?
Yeah, I know, clean sheet at home, too strong for Burnley at home, and I can see this one ending up as a 2-0 victory to the Gunners in London.
Interesting.
Next up we got Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. This is the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday. Aston Villa last week been defeated away at Tottenham 3-1, and Bournemouth, I think it was 0-0, wasn't it? No, it was 1-1 against Sheffield United last week, and I think they would have thought that they would have got off to a positive result against the Blades. In this match, I think it's going to be a very tight affair. However, it's Aston Villa's first game back in the Premiership at Villa Park, so the crowd are going to be well up for this one, and I think the crowd is going to get them through this match. Bournemouth last season, their away form wasn't too great, so I'm going to go for a narrow victory to Villa, and I'm going to go for 2-1.
Interesting. Well, believe it or not, I think Aston Villa are only going to score the 1 goal, and I think they're going to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
The crowd at Villa Park, absolutely immense, especially in the Premier League, and they're going to be well up for it for their first game back, of course. Dean Smith, great manager, absolutely rating. So I think maybe a Wesley goal, I reckon. 1-0 Aston Villa. Or Grealish, in fact. Next up, we have Brighton versus West Ham. Now, West Ham losing 5-0 to Man City on the opening day. That's not good for any team, really.
They did have a few chances.
They did have a few chances, but losing 5-0 on the opening day is never good. Brighton, of course, got off to a surprisingly good start. I believe they won 3-0 away as well Watford, and they don't traditionally have good away form either. So, yeah, I think West Ham, like last season, they're going to have a slow start to the season, and I can see Brighton, with their also good home form as well, winning 2-1 narrowly with their improving style of play. Harry Potter's really turning things around down there.
He's waving his magic wand, isn't he?
He's waving his magic wand, which I absolutely hate to say, to be honest.
Yeah, Brighton, magnificent last week, gaining that 3-0 victory against the Hornets away from home. I don't think they're going to be as successful this week at home. It will be tough for West Ham, but they're going to turn their fortunes around. I think it's going to be it is going to be a close tie. It's going to be stalemate, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think the quality in the West Ham ranks is good going forward. Yeah. However, Brighton look to be defensively sound at the moment. Ryan got goals, keeping a clean sheet last weekend. So I'm going to go for a draw. Yeah, I'm going to go for a draw in this one, and I'm going to go for 1-1. Next up, we've got Everton, the Toffees, at home against Watford. Everton, of course, was the manager up there. Marco Silva going up against his former club. Watford, terrible last weekend, losing at home 3-0 on the opening fixture of the season. And okay, Everton, they didn't get off the mark with a goal or anything, but I can actually see them winning this one fairly comfortably, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to the Toffees in this match.
Interesting. Well, to be honest, I can actually see this being a close one, because Marco Silva against his former club, he's going to want Everton fired up, but I just think Watford, after having...
they're going to be... They're going to have their bottom spanked this week.
Yes, especially by Javi Gracia as well. Who, look where they finished last season, and when of course he came in. So I can actually see this one being a draw. I can see Watford being up for it, and I can see Everton getting a nasty surprise there, and I can see them drawing 1-1.
Yeah, I think Delafeu started last weekend on the wing as well, on the right wing, and I'm not sure if correct me if I'm wrong, I think he had a bit of a niggling injury the week before as well. So
yeah, probably not the best time to play him, to be honest. But anyway, moving on to the next one, we've got Norwich, first game at Carrow Road for them in the Premier League, and they're going to be going up against Newcastle now. Newcastle narrowly losing to Arsenal last time around. I thought they played decently as well. Yeah,
Voldemort had a couple of short. I know he had one good shot. So.
Yeah, he had a few chances. Norwich, of course, being trumped 4-1 by Liverpool. However, they did score at Anfield, which doesn't happen often. Timu Pukki goal. But I can see this one being a close affair, but I just think Newcastle, I got a feeling they're going to steal it at the last minute.
Yeah.
They're going to. I believe Steve Bruce is going to want his team to make a statement, maybe a Joe Linton goal or a St. Maxime goal as well.
He did well when he came on. He put in the crosses, and he looked a tricky customer.
Looks pretty decent, to be fair, but I can see Pukki scoring again. I think he'll start to score at the start of the season, then die off a bit. But
even after what you said last week, he's got no chance in the Premier League.
Well, I didn't really say he's got no chance in the Premier League. I just didn't think that he'd be as prolific, and I thought he's
only got one so far.
He's only got one so far, but I think he'll flop like he did in Scotland and the other smaller leagues. But I can see Newcastle winning 2-1.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tight affair. We know that Norwich's defence isn't really the best in the league. No. Newcastle losing rather 1-0 against Arsenal, which isn't too bad. I think they played okay. But in this one, I think Norwich, with a crowd behind them, first game back at Carrow Road in the Premier League for a few seasons, since they were last there anyway. I think this is going to end up as 1-1, and I think Norwich will take that at this early stage of the season. Next up, we got Southampton against Liverpool. Well, Southampton last week got destroyed, didn't they? So against Burnley. Liverpool 4-0 up against Norwich in the first half, and then Pukki pops up with a goal in the second half. So I think Liverpool have got too much for them.
Yeah.
They are playing this evening at the time of recording against Chelsea in the Super Cup. Whether that's going to have a detrimental effect on their match on the weekend or the performance on the week, I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll make some changes tonight.
Yeah.
Probably see some fringe players coming in. Early stages of the season, they're going to be fresh. I think they're going to come away with a 2-0 victory, but I don't think it's going to be straightforward. They may struggle to score in the first half. Perhaps Liverpool find their feet a little bit, especially with Southampton. and the crowd getting behind them in the first match of the season. So I'm going to go, for a 2-0 win to the Reds, and we'll probably see a defender scoring a goal, probably Van Dijk or Robertson or somebody.
Yeah, believe it or not, I can see the same thing, but I think Liverpool are going to score a few more. I think they'll win 3-0. I just think they're too strong for Southampton's defence, and I can see Southampton, with the way they played against Burnley last week, I can see them having a slowish start to the season, but Hassan Hutt will get behind them
in
about 5 or 6 weeks' time.
I think they'll do fine this season.
Yeah, they'll do alright. So 3-0 Liverpool. Next up, we have the Saturday evening fixture between Man City and Tottenham. Now, Man City winning 5-0 on the opening day against West Ham. What a result that was. Spurs, of course, beating Villa after, I believe, a Grealish mistake as well.
It was. Villa went 1-0 up, and I think the 2 Harry Kane goals were late on in that game as well. Yes. So it was, it was fairly even, or the score was even anyway into the last, the dying embers, you could say, of the game. But
anyway, it's at the Etihad. Pep's going to have them fired up, and I can see Spurs scoring maybe another Harry Kane goal, or Heung-min Son's back, of course, so he might pop up with one, but I can see Man City winning 2-1.
Yeah, it was Tottenham last year, of course, who put Manchester City out of the Champions League.
Yep.
And I think it's going to, so my score prediction for this is going to be a 3-1 victory to Manchester City. I think Spurs will get on the score sheet, probably Harry Kane or Son, as you said, because I don't think the defence is amazing, you could say, but you've got to get the ball off Manchester City to actually attack them. So whether Spurs are going to have that many opportunities to attack Manchester City, I don't know. But I think they will score. However, Manchester City, the quality they've got at home, first game of the season, they're just going to win this one 3-1.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Sheffield United home against Crystal Palace. Last week, the Blaze gained a creditable draw against Bournemouth down on the south coast. They're coming up against Crystal Palace side who won 9 of their away matches last season, so fairly strong. They're high up in the away wins table in the Premier League for 2018-2019 season. I think that's going to continue into this week. I know they drew 0-0 at home against Everton. I think Zaha was on the bench.
Yes,
I think he's ironed out his differences now, apparently. I've reading, so Zaha's going to be more involved in this match. And I think they're going to have a bit more know-how than the Blades, and I can see them narrowly winning this one 1-0.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think I don't think they'll dominate them, mainly because Sheffield United will be up there and with their style of play and everything, and the really good atmosphere you get at Bramall Lane. But I just think Palace, with their away form, I just think they're just going to get over the hurdle and narrowly win 1-0, to be honest, and keep a clean sheet. So 1-0 Palace.
And the pace of Palace as well, that's going to cause Sheffield United no end of problems, I can see.
Moving on to the 4:30 kick-off, we have Chelsea against Leicester City at the Bridge. Now, Chelsea losing 4-0 against Man United. To be honest, I didn't think Chelsea looked good at all in that game. Especially, just looking at some of the players such as Mason Mount and a few of the youngsters who played with Abraham up front, I just don't think he did hit the post, however, I just don't think they're cut out for the level that Chelsea are looking to play at, as in Champions League level. Whereas Leicester, last week, 0-0 against Wolves. Now that is a very good result for them, especially with how good Wolves are playing at the moment. Of course, they've been in Europe and they're sort of on the same level
tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, I think they are as well. But I don't know. To be honest, I can't see Chelsea scoring in this one, but I can see Leicester scoring on the counter attack and with Brenda Ball as well. So. Yeah, I can see a narrow 1-0 victory at the Bridge for Leicester City.
Yeah, you're predicting a Leicester City victory.
Yeah.
I'm going to predict it's too many. I've seen a lot of people predicting Leicester City to go to Stamford Bridge and come away with all 3 points, and that's troubling me a bit now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to go for a Foxes win as well. Chelsea in the Super Cup. I think, is it in Istanbul?
It is in Besiktas. Yeah.
Yeah. Tonight, which is Wednesday. Okay, they got the same issues with the travel and everything that Liverpool have got. I think Liverpool are playing on Saturday, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Whereas Chelsea, if they've got an additional day's rest, they're going to be wanting to win this match, especially after that defeat last weekend. So yeah, it's going to be a tight affair, but I can see the Foxes just coming through this one 2-1.
Interesting.
And finally, we got Monday Night Football. That's back on our TV screens again, and the fans as well. Not a fan of Monday Night Football.
Really?
Not a start of the week after a day in work or school, etc. You know, if you're a fan, okay, it's great if you're an armchair viewer and everything, or a neutral fan, but not great if you're a fan of
actual teams.
A team that's playing on a Monday evening. But we've got Wolves against Manchester United kicking off at 8 p.m. on Monday. Manchester United coming away with a great victory with Chelsea 4-0. They didn't, I think I read somewhere that Manchester United conceded the second most shots last weekend.
Yeah.
So Wolves defensively sound last week. Manchester United, of course, didn't concede either. But I don't think there's going to be many goals in this match. Last season, Wolves beat Manchester United once in the league, once in the FA Cup, and I think they drew the other fixture 1-1. So I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 win to Wolves in this one. I think at home,
at
Molineux, first game of the season. Manchester United don't like playing against Wolves, so yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the men in orange. Or gold, I should say.
Yes,
I'm sure that'll be. I'm sure that'll be point. Gold and black.
Yes. Indeed, but anyway, I completely agree with you there. However, I think it will be a draw. I think I can see Man United popping up with a goal somewhere. Yeah. Even though I do, in a way, I can see Wolves winning this, but to be safe, and I just think that it'll end in 1-1. Man United might score in the end, but I think Wolves will have the upper hand throughout the majority of the match with their team.
Yeah, and do you think Pogba will go? Because he could go to somewhere like Madrid or somewhere on the continent. And if he goes, then that'll weaken them in the middle. Okay, maybe in the long run it'll be a good thing, but he was magnificent last weekend, Pogba. So.
Yeah, but then again, Man United will just lose their midfield without him in a way.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, if they have their way, I can't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even though how much you agree of a terrible manager he is, I can't see him letting go of a player.
We've had a bit of stick in comment section for you having a go at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yes, but to be fair, just go back to 2014 and have a look at his performance, dreadful performance at Cardiff.
Good at Mulder though.
Good at Mulder, but just not cut out for the Premier League or even the Championship.
We shall see. Anyway, guys,
we shall see.
That concludes our predictions for week 2 of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. As I've said earlier, we're going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description. All you need to do to get involved in all the fun is copy and paste them into a comment, make your predictions, and like Alfie Hayes, you can get a shout out in the next video. And if you're lucky, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be drawing out one of you guys on Friday evening. I'll let you know in Instagram, on Instagram, as a community post in YouTube, and I'll notify not really the winner, the person who's selected as well on Friday evening as well. But for now, Nathan, is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, because we didn't do this on week 1 and because we've seen a game week of fixtures, who do you think is going to be the first manager to go this season?
Already?
Or we've seen a match, so...
I'm not too sure, actually. Difficult to say at this such an early stage of the season. You've got to look at the teams who are going to struggle this year. Maybe Sheffield United or Norwich.
I can't see him.
Maybe in Crystal Palace. Do you think Roy will go? Probably
Roy
not.
Could be at risk, but I don't know.
Everton, if they don't kick on. Maybe Marco Silva's at risk there. Don't know. It's too early to tell. Watford having a heavy defeat last weekend. I reckon after 6 fixtures, they're in the bottom 3. Then we could see
Grazia going.
Yeah, we could see a managerial change there at Vicarage Road.
To be honest, looking at all the matches last week, I'd say the favourable one at the moment. Even though I can't. It might not happen, but if things continue the way, and if they continue playing as badly as they did against that team last week, then I can see Hassan Hustle being the first casualty.
Really? Already? No,
really, I can see that if Southampton lose every week, but
maybe before the transfer window, the next transfer window.
If they push the panic button, but he's at the moment he's the most likely to go.
Okay. I know we were going to be going to Reading this weekend. We couldn't get tickets for that, so
shame on you, Reading fans, or not the fans, but shame on you, Reading FC.
Right,
that's all I can say.
But that's in the Championship.
Yeah.
But So instead of going to Reading, you're going to be live streaming.
There
this
will be a
weekend?
live stream. I believe, is the match on at half?
No, I think
midday?
it's 12 o'clock kickoff.
12 o'clock kickoff, so that means the stream should start about 5 minutes before, so 11:55 be there.
So look out for that on
Look out
Nathan's
for that.
channel. I'll put a link in the description
So
for that.
in the description below.
Okay, but for now,
A big farewell.
and we'll see you in the next video.
Cheers, guys.